Oh yeah, Bikeaholics, are you ready for part 2 of 2? Well, I decided I'm not going to do it, so we're just going to leave you with part 1 of 2, and then you can just dream about what we might have talked about. I'm kidding. Of course, we did part 2 of 2 for you. That's right. Hey, Bikeaholics, Zero 3D has a wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson motorcycle, affordable chrome lighting and comfort products. These guys support riders just like you. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of Zero 3D products. That's right. Oh yeah, once you've had rickrack, you'll never go back. The ultimate motorcycle luggage rack solution. Forget those messy straps and bungee cords. Go strapless with a rickrack, quick attach luggage system and quality bag. Head over right now, lawabidingbiker.com/store and get hooked up. That's right. Buy from the store, guys. You know the faces behind the store. Shall we do this? I think so. Oh, feel it, Bikeaholics. Feel it. That's right. You mowing your lawn right now, riding your tractor, listening to the Lab podcast. You walking your dog. Stop right now. I'm looking at you. That's right. You right there driving your truck. You long haulers out there. That's right. You know who you are. Right now you're going, that's me. Where's he at? He's looking at me. That's right. I'm always watching you guys. That's right. Like a hawk. Welcome back, you freaking Bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the big MM, also known as the 99%. That's right, large and in charge. More than any time in motorcycle history. That's right, by listening, by following, you are part of what we call the biker revolution. And what a badass thing to be a part of. You know what, though? I just got one question for y'all. What are you waiting for? Let me, that's right, just me today, take you on another wild ass ride. Part 2 of 2 of the Iron Legacy. Ray Lubesky interrogation interview. I'm kidding. Welcome back, Bikeaholics. Ryan Urlacher here, lawabidingbiker.com. Of course, your high-tech redneck. There you go. I changed it up a little bit for you guys. And so this is going to be part 2 of 2. I'll tell you up front, if you haven't listened to part 1 of 2 of this, you'll definitely need to do that. You'll have to go back one episode because you're going to be completely freaking lost if you don't. Now, I have a new free video that I want to tell you guys about, and that is the best quality Harley saddlebag safety bolts, pins, levers. Never lose a saddlebag, guys. That can be a dangerous thing. It has happened. Harley-Davidson has had lawsuits that they've settled out of court on the loss of saddlebags. Now, imagine this. This is a nifty little product. We brought it to our store, and I crap you not. I think on the last episode, I promoted our gas cap keepers, which we sold rickrack out of in our store. We ordered so many, we sold them out. We also did that with saddlebag safety bolts. Okay. There's a reason for that. And I will link to this in the show notes, guys, if you want to get it. Of course, you can always go to our store and search saddlebag safety bolts. They are made by rickrack. They're super high quality. And like I say, yes, digressing a little bit, Harley has had lawsuits on that over the years. Those quarter turn pins, they've actually had recalls in it on it. In fact, my 2014 Street Glide Special, I remember it had a recall in it. I took it back in and they put a little bit beefier quarter turn pins and some different clips on the back. Okay. Those are not great systems. They weren't great systems. Now, the reason is, I believe, and correct, you guys may correct me, but I think it's 2017 and on models have a completely redesigned out of the factory saddlebag because clearly Harley knew that they were having problems with that. And so they realized they had to do something about it. But all you before that, and I even think in fact, I know that even the new ones are not that, they're better, but we have them on a couple of our police bikes. They're not that great compared to these bad boys, these rickracks. These things are solid. You guys got to, once you get it in your hand, and I do a review video, an install video we do for you guys. Again, I'll link to it in the show notes. But you just got to see these things. It's unbelievable how solid these are built, and they come off super quick. They don't take any, there's a lot on the market that take like proprietary tools, or they take a wrench to get off. What a pain in the ass. Why would you want to do that? Have to get a wrench to get, I take my saddlebags off all the time when I'm working on it, washing it, whatever. These are just big, huge thumb screws, and you can take them off so quick, and all the hardware stays together on it, and you aren't losing, washers like you do with the quarter pins down in your saddlebags. You all know that nightmare. And if you're riding in a group, I'm telling you, you lose a saddlebag, you can kill somebody. That's straight up dangerous. Less dangerous for you, the rider, but imagine the people behind you guys, or in that group setting. It's just something that you can't risk. And, I should have did it long before I kind of got put on the side for me too, because I was so busy. But let me tell you, we've got them in stock, ready for you guys. It's a way to support us, of course. We're only bringing quality, usable products to the Law Abiding Biker store that we really believe in, and this was one of them. So get hooked up. We got the install video, we got the review video, and of course, everything is always over on our YouTube channel, lawabidingbiker.com/YouTube. Get subscribed over there, guys. The more subscriptions we get, the bigger and faster we grow. Social proof, and more bikers. Every time that subscribe button and bell icon are hit, another biker joins the revolution over there on YouTube, and the community and the comments, and we try to monitor all that and have a good time with guys over there. So there you go. Make sure you check that out. That is our newest, freest video. So let's thank a couple people that made this episode possible. They're our beloved Patron members, and they get all kinds of benefits and access, guys, more than the general audience. All right. They're paying members, and they bring these episodes to you guys. Diane Willisey of Lansdale, Pennsylvania, top tier. Steve Shklar of Toronto, Ontario. Shout out to the North. Dave Patterson of Sartell, Minnesota. All right. I think that's Minnesota. Yeah. All right. Mark Bergevin of St. Jean-sur-Richelieu, Quebec, Canada. Boy, I mutilated that, but shout out to the North. Love our Canadians. Mark Charles of Shepherdstown, West Virginia, and Bernie Dapakovich of Cary, North Carolina. Thank you so much. lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon. Patreon is how you get hooked up, guys. That's right. Pledge a certain amount per piece of content. No risk to you, because you can put a monthly cap. There are benefits. The stickers, t-shirts, private Facebook, motorcycle forum, guys. That's right. Blowing up. Tons of conversations in there, up to access to our premium videos up on request at no charge. And again, guys, I know I always say it, and some of you probably get bored of it, but I give patrons so much credit and props on our episodes because of reason. Because like Lurch has said in the past, very many times, it helps us know exactly what's coming in, so we know how much and what kind of services we can provide. And it continues to grow. And we would love to get to know you better. And the way we get to know people better is, of course, in that private Facebook group and some of that kind of stuff. And there's so much good information. A lot of our episodes now spawn out of stuff going on in that private Facebook group. So we'd love to have you in there. It's a troll-free zone. That's right. Because the people that are in there, they are trusted and paying members, and we monitor it, and everybody's friendly in there, and there's no trolls, and you know who is giving you advice, because you get to know people in that private group. And I apologize for my voice. I actually still have a cold. I think I'm coming off it a little bit. So apologize for that. All right. This is part 2 of 2 of the Ray Lubesky Iron Legacy interview/interrogation. Sounds cooler, right? All right. Again, apologize for some of the audio. It was a Skype long distance interview. Again, listen to episode 1 of 2 before you dive into this one, or it's not going to make any sense. And I continue with my questions, and we learn a lot more about the Iron Legacy and what they're all about. And of course, I ask some of the tough questions still about the controversy surrounding Iron Legacy, surrounding Ray Lubesky, who's the international president of the Iron Legacy. All right. And back from his Iron Order days, there was controversy. Even my interviews with him back on episode 64 and 65, if you want to listen to those, I asked some questions about some of the controversy surrounding that club at that time. And just to reiterate, guys, as I mentioned, I went in deeper in episode 1 of 2 on this, but I want you to know I'm not taking sides. Please understand, that's not my place. I have respect for the Iron Order. We have a lot of listeners of the Iron Order. A lot of involved members, they support us through the store. Same with Iron Legacy. I don't get into this inner club, stuff going on. That's between them. I'm not there. I'm just kind of out here with a platform, and Ray had reached out, Lubesky had reached out to utilize the platform. And I told him I was going to ask him the tough questions, and he was okay with that. And, I tried to ask the questions that I think you guys out there want to know a little bit more about some of the things you may see, and maybe dispel some of the rumors. And again, you guys are the deciders, not me. I'm not getting involved between the two clubs. It really doesn't concern me, other than, again, I have the microphone, I have the platform, and I want to try to ask the questions and get answers to things that are legitimate concerns within the law-abiding biker community, as I've done for many other clubs in the past that have reached out to me and want to be on the podcast. And if you're a law-abiding biker club and you want to be on the podcast, of course, hit us up at lawabidingbiker.com. We have a contact form. We'll try to work it into the schedule. There's no better way to get your club out there, your message, and what you're about, and have that permanent episode and that link you can give to new prospective members that are interested. You can embed it on your website. There's no better place. Plus, you get your club patches, banners on our website, on our club page. Only way you get on there is if you do an interview with us, and we can actually get your message out there a little bit. Then you get in that exclusive page where, like I say, your club info, and you get an episode. I do notes, basically, an article on the episode and links to your episodes. And like I say, it's kind of a permanent resource. And the biggest part is we all get to share our information with the law-abiding biker community, and we can all learn from each other. So enough said. Again, you be the decider, guys. I'm just doing the interview. I'm very detached from this situation. All I can do is the interview. So let's dive right in, and I really hope you enjoy part 2 of 2 here. And just be careful out there, audience, where you're getting your information on this stuff. If you can get it from the courts, and that's where I would go. I wouldn't be reading it from other sources. There's a lot of crap sources, obviously, on the internet, and I never mention their names because they've got like 2 followers. But nonetheless, I do want to ask about this, and just be candid on it. I'm not, like I said, I'm not into the smut sites and stuff like that. But it is a question that I have to ask because it popped up, Ray. And that is, first of all, I want to ask, we were not going to read it. We're not going to get into it any deeper than people are going to see it. And that is an email that is surfaced that looks like it was FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, or somebody. I don't know that actually for sure. I don't know if that was part of the court proceedings. I'm going to try to lay a foundation for it a little bit, Ray. It's a email from, it appears, and I don't know the validity. I'm going to let you talk about that in a minute. I don't know the validity of it or its foundation, but it was back from 2013, and it surfaced, it seems like, in January or so. And it's an email thread exchange when you were still leadership, I believe, at the Iron Order. And it has a lot of statements about some possible violence against other clubs. First of all, can you just tell me, is that a email from you?
No.
Okay.
Let's get this cleared up. There's a blogger. His real name is James Redden, Reddun. He's out of North Chicago. James Redden's got 3 other AKA. He goes by James Masseria as supposedly his Christian name. It is not. His real name is James Redden. He had a road name of Top Fuel, and he changed it to Hollywood, and that's now his blogger name. James Redden is attached at the hip to the Iron Order, pretty strong. What's amazing, they drag that stuff up. But if you look at it, and you look at look at it as an email, you'll see it doesn't even look like an email. There was an email. I could tell you the circumstance of what it was and what it turned out to be, because it's an interesting story. In Arizona, there was a riding club. I won't mention it because we're on good terms with them now. They had a member that was a first-class hacker. Like big time. And he set up a program to crash our website. Where it hits it like 1 million times a second, right?
A bot attack, yeah.
And we didn't know anything about it. Our server it actually told us who it was. Went back to it, knew it was him, told us everything about it. The idea was that I wanted them to go to the club and say, listen, you got this guy who's doing this, he's doing it in your name, and it's not a good thing for you, the club. They took some words out of that and made what you see there. The end result was this guy that I'm talking about is now doing federal time. He got prosecuted on an assault case where they beat up a guy at a club-on-club thing, and he's in federal prison right now. So this was not a good guy, certainly. There was no, and James Redden put that on there, and if you read the article, I know you don't, but, he infers that. And I'm going to give you a real classic example. Unfortunate for the Outlaws Motorcycle Club here in Newport Richey, one of their chapter president was shot and killed a couple months ago. Ambushed on the highway by another club, the 69ers. All this is public record, so it's not something it's not new news, breaking news. One of those members is the next Iron Order guy. So I have not seen this guy in 5 years. He was in the Lakeland chapter in Florida. He was involved in it. He was not the shooter. He was one of the lookout vehicle or something, driving a car. The other two that were involved in the actual murder were on motorcycles. But he was involved, and this James Redden put on his blog that I personally recruited this guy and trained him in my secret ninja school to be an assassin. And that this was late. Now, mind you, I've been out of the Iron Order for almost 4 years. I haven't seen this guy in 5 years, and I never hardly knew him. I met him at a couple of parties. But this is the kind of rhetoric and bullshit that this poor man continues to throw out there. He doesn't have any following. Our guys don't even read it because it's so blatantly bullshit that. And I did at one time answer his questions. I will always give somebody the benefit of being truthful, but he certainly is not the Edward R. Morrow for journalism award winner. This is a blogger. He's a shit stirrer. He's on to every club out there, and I got nothing more to say about him other than if it was the case that we were in such activity, Mr. Redden would be in physically hurt by now. So that's proof in itself that we don't do that, never have. Now, will we come and talk to you about stuff face to face, man to man? We sure will. We're not going to hide from that. So that was the case with this guy. They made up what they wanted to make up, and when you look at it real closely, you'll see it doesn't even look like an email.
Yeah, and I just want to follow up on that a little bit. I wouldn't. You guys out there listening, obviously we don't. You guys, our audience doesn't do the smut stuff. These particular blogs, especially this guy, I just did a little bit of research on him. Number one, I can't read any more than about 2 sentences of these basement bloggers, underwear bloggers. I just can't do it because my 7-year-old can write better articles. I mean, these guys they've just uneducated. They don't have grammar. They don't know how to spell. They don't know how to punctuate properly. It's horrible blogging of the worst kind. And these guys, of course, will change their name 3-4 times. They won't put their face. You won't find that at Law Abiding Biker Media. We will proudly put our faces. You know who's behind it. That's because it's a respectable blog and articles and website. But so honestly, Ray, I was looking into their following. They've got like 300 Twitter followers. I mean, these guys, the only people read this as schmut. So I do take it obviously with a grain of salt. But things pop up. So I just want to go back, Ray, to this email that's floating. And this is your chance to tell everybody, because it's going to be a huge question. Is that email in its foundation, is it have some true information? Is it completely false, or is it a mix?
No, it's a mix. There is some basis to it. Like I said, I explained the circumstances. I don't remember what I wrote 3 years ago, but when I read that thing, I knew it wasn't me. And there's I don't talk about beat ass, or I read it and like I don't even use that terminology. No, it is not the way it was sent. And you have to look at the source. If there was anything like that in our culture, if that's what we did, and I'm talking the legacy or even the Iron Order under my leadership. Now, did we have altercations in the Iron Order? Sure, I got 2 books full of them. You covered one serious one, the shooting in Jacksonville, Florida, of the Black Piston. And believe me, you did the most amazing job with that. But that was not in our DNA. I mean, the most important part of one of our founding principles is, you avoid violence at all costs. I deplore it. And it's not something that we even want to be associated with. We're going on 4 years. We haven't had one single violent incident in our new club because we're sticking to our founding principles and how we operate. So did I tell these guys to go talk to them? You bet. You bet. Go meet with this club, because it was just going to escalate. It was getting worse. And this guy was a professional hacker. To the tune, I can tell you that what he's famous for, and I'm talking, he was written up in national magazines. He developed a software program where, with Facebook click ads, that are what they make their income on. He actually was able to hack into Facebook. Now, this was 5 years ago, and get into those clicks. So you would think you're clicking on an ad for LL-Bean, let's say, but it would go to a advertiser that was in his stable. So you click on an LL-Bean and it would go to Mike's Bike Shop. And Mike's Bike Shop would pay him so that he was like, a tenth of the cost of Facebook. And that's how he had redirected the ad click. That was what he became famous for. And he was never prosecuted because there wasn't the law. The law hadn't caught up to it. So he made like $250,000 and doing this, and he was untouchable. Now, since then, of course, laws have been put in place to stop it, and Google and Facebook and the rest of them have got more sophisticated. I don't think it can be done today, but that's what he did. He was a pretty big player in the hacking world. Well, now he's hacking a cot in a 8x6 cell.
Okay. Well, thanks, Ray, for answering that. I appreciate it, because I know that's going to be a big question. And so, we went straight to the source here, guys, for you with Ray, and ask him, we're asking the tough questions here. And I missed
my point. My point is, if that was in our DNA and if that was in our culture, don't you think in the last 4 years, another one would be there somewhere? Something would pop up and say, look, here's another one. This doesn't happen.
With that said, let's move into colors. Let's move into your Iron Legacy colors and get a little bit deeper into now what a little bit of the Iron Legacy is all about now that you're formed. You've been up and running successfully now. And again, if you guys want to check out their website, it's ironlegacymc.com. And this is I clicked on their colors tab. So let me pull that up. And do you want to explain, because it's written on your website and I'll read through it with you, but I was actually pretty reading last night, doing my research before I got you on here. I was actually pretty fascinated with a thought that went into the whole, we'll talk about the HILT, which is a big thing for you guys, the HILT, ETH and what that stands for. But I actually, I some serious time went into that, and props on that, because I think it's pretty deep once you know the meaning of that. So let's talk about the colors in your words, since you probably helped create them. What are they all about?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I can't take full credit. It was a group of guys involved in that. The hilt, honesty, integrity, loyalty, trust, and honor. And when I talk about, the bylaws and our founding principles, if you're making a decision or you're going to do something or say something about somebody, if it doesn't fall in line with those 5 values, those are pretty simple gateways, then don't do it. Don't say it. Don't get involved in it. And that was, part of our founding principles with the Brand X. Well, they kind of turned their back on a lot of that. So when we founded the club, like I say, we Etch-a-Sketch and started over. We rebirthed those and we ground them into concrete. And if you look at the front of our cut, we've got the grave, we call him the rider. He's coming out of the grave and he's taking a tombstone where we felt that those values were dead. He drags them out of the grave, he gets on his bike, and he's riding out of hell with those values to found our new club. The rider, he represents all of us. The interesting part, and here's some trivia, our club, we always toast our club at 9:12 in the evening. We're having a party or anything going on. We have a group of guys always toast brothers at 9:12, and those that are in the eternal chapter, those that aren't with us any longer. Well, we always use Fireball. That seems to be the beverage of choice, if you will. And if you look at the Fireball bottle, the dragon coming out, he's in that pose. So when we were talking about our colors, we knew what the symbolism had to be. We knew it had to mean something. It's not a cartoon. That draws to the heart of each of one of our brothers, why they're here, and what this club is about. And that, as we were coming up with the theme and the name of the club and all of that, we were drinking pretty heavy. We got to the Fireball, and I pointed at the bottle and I said, "There's our center patch. It's that dragon in that pose." I said, "Can't you see it? He's riding the chopper." And they're like, "You're drunk, guys." I said, "Yeah, that's true. I've seen him on a chopper." And what we did is we took that idea to the artist we hired. You remember back in the 70s, there was a thing called rat face. It was a character, it was a rat with big bulging eyes on old choppers or cars, It was just a cartoon character for hot rodders, mostly. The artist that did Rat Fink lives here in Treasure Island, and he happens to be a friend of one of our members. So we approached him with it, and we said, "Listen, we don't know what to do with it. Here's what our ideas are." Over the course of a month, he came up with a lot of sketches, drawings, ideas, and that's how the center was born. So it really is the dragon pose, the iron rider riding off with the hilt that we'll never let get buried again.
Nice. And so what we're looking at here for the audience, if you're listening in podcast format and you're not looking at the website, basically a bike and with 8 hangers, and you call it the rider. He's got flames coming off his back and hauling down the road with the Hilth 2015. And again, the Hilth is, I'm not looking here, honor, I'm guessing, integrity, loyalty.
Trust and honesty.
And trust and honesty. So that's the Hilth. And I think the 2015 represents when you started, right?
Right.
And riding off with it. Very cool. Now, of course, the top where you guys decided to go with the traditional 3-piece patch, and we're looking at the top rocker Iron Legacy. The bottom, of course, in this picture says Nomad, but you guys do run state.
Everything is etched in gold.
Yes.
And that means something, because we felt like we brought the gold with us. That was the founders, all the original members, all the guys that really put the blood, sweat, and tears building the IO. We felt that was gold, and we left this flag behind, and that gold represents that move. It was pretty tough for I'd say every brother to turn in his colors. You got to remember, we fought for those colors. We bled for those colors. We established a real 3-piece MC the hard way. We never asked anybody permission for anything. We never claimed territory. We stood by our own rules. Didn't claim DLC. We went independent, totally on our own, and we still do today.
So, anything else? Oh, you guys are running state bottom rockers, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so. This one just happened to say Nomad. So, if you look at their website, you'll get a little more idea of what we're talking about, guys. I do like it. I think it's you guys did, like I say, maybe it was the fireball talking, but you did some good good job on thinking deep and what the meaning of that patch was. So that's pretty cool. Let's move in a little bit here, Ray, to obviously we got some background, and hopefully it answered. I think these episodes are going to answer a lot of questions for a lot of people. And of course you can refer people to them and that kind of stuff. They'll be ever living like your original episode 64 and 65 from the IO still lives. If you guys want to go back to those, that'd be some interesting episodes to listen to back then too. Let's get into the Alliance a little bit. So obviously the Iron Legacy touts itself as a full law-abiding biker club with no affiliation to any 1% clubs, no affiliation to the Iron Order anymore, other than their history coming from it. But you, at some point, got hooked up. You want to talk a little bit? I haven't talked to those folks for quite a long, although I follow some of their stuff. Talk about what the Alliance is and why you feel it's necessary for the Iron Legacy to be part of the Alliance.
Well, even when we were building the Iron Order and we started getting big, it was always a dream of mine, and I shared it with our leadership, but it never went anywhere, never got to get it off the ground. We established the Iron Rockets, and it was an offshoot of that law-abiding clubs, most of them are not welcome in the COC, like your club. If you have law enforcement in the club, you're totally free. And I felt that there needed to be an answer for that. There needed to be a place for clubs that fit in that box, that could associate, affiliate, share experiences, and do the things that only an organization, big numbers, can do. And do it lawfully and along with clubs that share the same value. No convicted felons in the club, allowing law enforcement membership. And so that was the dream of mine. And I called it the COLA, O-L-A, Coalition of Law-Abiding Clubs. That was something I had in the back of my mind. Well, when we broke off, I still had that in the back of my mind. I talked about it. I think one of the brothers came up and said, listen, you need to check these guys out, this law-abiding organization. And I got in touch with Pablo, who's the national president there. And, we talked for 3 hours the first night, because shared experiences. He knew where we were coming from. It was just a perfect match, our values match. It was a great step for us and fulfillment of, this is an alternative. If you are starting up a law-abiding motorcycle club, don't want to get tied up into, and listen, you'll see, some words about that. There's good ones, bad ones. There's good people and bad. There's good people and bad. on all clubs.
Hang on 1 second, Ray. Only because I'm losing connection with you for some reason. It's getting really sketchy. I'm going to call you right back, okay?
Okay.
Are you searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? Then Zero 3D has just what you're looking for. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley-Davidson motorcycles. Zero 3D's got your back with chrome, lighting, and comfort products. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for a super easy installation. That equals less time installing, guys, more time riding. Zero 3D has a design team with over 40 years experience with a passion for design and innovation. These guys are bikers and care about bikers just like you guys. That's right. They pride themselves on the best of customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them via email, sales@zero3d.com, or give them a call at 715-808-0027. Zero 3D is distributed in the United States by Drag Specialties, in Europe by Parts Europe and Zodiac, and in Asia by Twin Art. Of course, don't forget to check your Harley-Davidson dealership and ask for Zero parts. Head over there right now. Check them out. lawabidingbiker.com/Zero, CIRO, and tell them that the Law Abiding Biker crew sent you. Are you searching for the easiest and quickest detachable luggage system for your motorcycle? Rick Rack has just what you're looking for. Forget all those frustrating straps and bungee cords that can come loose and slap your paint. Check out one of Rick Rack's awesome quick attach strapless luggage rack systems. This father-son team designed something really special that you can't find anywhere else. Yep, and these guys ride, so they truly understand the needs of bikers. The Rick Rack quick attach system is strong, durable, and secure with a lockable system. Also, check out their full line of quality touring bags to accompany your quick detach system. Once you use a Rick Rack, you'll never go back. What are you waiting for, Bikeaholics? Head over to the Law Abiding Biker store and check out our full line of Rick Rack systems and bags. That's lawabidingbiker.com/store. That's right. Don't worry. We'll get right back into your interview. Just a quick break. Of course, we love our patrons, guys. We want to get to know you better. We want you in the private Facebook group. We want to get you benefits. But hey, if the only way you can support us is through a flat donation, of course, we appreciate that so very much. We never balk at a flat donation. That's right. I want to thank the following people for supporting this episode. George Meyer of Golden Valley, Arizona, substantial donation. Gary Moore of Sioux City, Iowa. Fred Gregory of Castle Pines, Colorado. That's right. All over, guys. He left a donation after asking a question on our contact form. We appreciate it. We put a lot of time in to answer those questions. And Jose Couto, thank you so much. And he says, for the fire loss, for our store, thank you so much. And Richard Hahn, not sure where he's from, guys. When you do leave a donation, leave us where you're from. We'd love to give you a shout out and love to hear from all over the world where you guys are from. This thing is a biker revolution, and we are worldwide, and so we love hearing that stuff, guys. All right, lawabidingbiker.com/donate is how you leave us a flat donation. It is a way that had definitely helped support this platform so that we can put a little fuel in the Law Abiding Biker gas tank and keep this thing heading on down the road. Let's get right back into your interview. Hope you're enjoying it.
Are you there?
Yep, we should have did that a long time ago. It was kind of getting sketchy. So, back to the alliance you were saying about the COC.
Yeah, there's good ones and bad ones. There's good people and bad people in all clubs, and I don't want to be bashing, good people. Certainly there's Christian clubs that are members of the COC. There are some that do good work on legislation, helmet laws, et cetera, but. Not to get into that politics, there's a lot of COCs that are run by dominant 1% clubs. And if you don't want to get into that sandbox, then there's a choice for you. And it's the alliance. And we have an agreement that you have to sign and abide by that gives you some guidelines, not on how you run your club or, exactly what your patch looks like. You're not going to have to be approved like you do for a COC on what it says in your patches, whether it's a state rocker or brotherhood or a 1-piece or 2-piece or 7-piece. Nothing like that. It's about agreeing and promising to be a law-abiding club, to not get involved in nefarious activities, and sharing, everything and anything that has to do with an organization that would support your club, and you can support other clubs. So it matched us. It really fit us, because we do have a lot of law enforcement, military, first responders in our club. Always have, always will. So it was a perfect match. It wasn't even a question of whether we should belong or not. It was just a matter of, would they accept us? Once we got through the hump of what at that time was happening in the headlines with the IO, and that we have nothing to do with them, once we got beyond that, we were accepted, and we've become a strong part of that organization, and we feel very strongly it's a great thing for clubs that don't want to get into that POC thing and want to agree to be a law-abiding club. Right.
Yeah, that's good information. And to say a couple things, if you guys, he mentioned Pablo Harnett, if lawabidingbiker.com/112 is where I interviewed Pablo, and go back and about the Alliance. You can learn a little bit about that. And also, if you're new to the show, if you don't know what COC is, it's Confederation of Clubs, and Ray alluded to it. Essentially, to dumb it down and keep it really simple, that's for your, that's your mostly 1%er clubs, and they try to, rule certain areas, and you got to pay them and all kinds of stuff to operate in their area. The alternative is the one I recommend for all law-abiding biker clubs, which is what this is about, is the opposite of that, and that's the Alliance, and it's for the same kind of networking, but it's for all law-abiding biker clubs, and you don't have to pay tithes and offerings to them and stuff like that.
Right.
It's just there it's a great organization, and it's to network with other law-abiding biker clubs and what's going on kind of in the biker scene, and a good bunch of folks over there. And I know Pablo writes articles over there too. So hopefully that gives you a little insight into some of what we were talking about. You have any follow-up on that?
Yeah, it's to promote safe, law-abiding riding brotherhoods, to present a good image to the public that, bikers are good people. We're all good people. Because I got a patch on my back doesn't make me, a criminal. So, we focus a lot on presenting good image, charity work, amazing, and it's all over the world. We've got other clubs in Germany and in Ireland and Scotland. So it's growing. It's getting bigger by the day, and it's a good, honorable endeavor. So if you're interested, get a hold of Pablo.
Yeah, absolutely.
On our website, we'll get you in touch.
There you go. And I'd want to digress just briefly. I never asked you how many, originally when the Iron Legacy started, how many did you have that broke off?
In numbers?
Yeah, generally.
Oh. Yeah, I really don't want to say.
Okay.
When you start talking that, then you go, how many do they have now? And it's probably
okay.
better. Clubs shouldn't really. You really shouldn't talk about numbers or expose your rosters or your membership. If you want to be one, ask one. It's that old thing. But it was, I'll put it this way, it was significant. It was a significant number.
And that's what I suspected with that, we've already talked about the chapters, and there's only, it seems like on your map on the website, there's only a couple states that aren't represented. Is that still kind of the case? Yep. Kind of in the middle of the U.S., it seemed like.
I have any in Alaska, Hawaii. I think we opened up Montana a little while back. And some of them, we have members at large too. And they're listed there. It'll say MAL or member at large. Those are guys that are. If you are our material and we meet you in person, or we know you from, your past history with another club. We're not going to turn you away because you're by yourself. We're going to get you started and help you establish and maybe get a chapter going in your area. We're in no hurry, no rush. We just like good quality growth. Our doors are open for good men who have the same values we do. And, if you don't fit in our box and you have other intentions, or you're looking to be Billy Badass, there's clubs for that. That's not us.
So good. That's a good caveat a good lead into who is eligible for the Iron Legacy. If we got listeners out there that are like, I want to give this a look, who's eligible?
18 years old, a bike 650cc or bigger, and that includes sport bike. We have a special center patch. It's actually, you can see it on our homepage, top right-hand corner, I think is the rider on a sport bike.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So sport bikes are welcome as full patch brothers. All races, creed, religions, we don't, it's not Harley only, obviously. If you can bleed for your country, then you can be in our club, and that's the way we look at it. Men only, obviously. And you won't have to commit to our founding values. And if you're a good man, you already do.
So it's an overall, police, there's mixed in there, fire, civilian, military, carpenters. It really doesn't matter. It's very much like how it was when you were with the IO, just as long as you're law abiding.
We have two things. One is all clubs have cops in them. We just know who ours are. And the second saying is that, if being around a firefighter, a paramedic, or law enforcement makes you uncomfortable, then don't come around us. It's that simple. We think these are heroes. That we think, like yourself, we owe you for your service. Too many bikers or MCs, look at it as the adversary, that you're just automatically out there playing biker at night and handing out speeding tickets during the day just to be a prick, or, fabricating crimes to put their brothers in prison. I mean, I've seen all of that, and you've seen it all on the internet. So if you're of that mindset, don't come around us, and we won't bother you. We're not going to go around you.
So on that note, one more question, Ray. How about criminal backgrounds? Because somebody's out there saying, crap, I did get a DUI when I was 21. I'm 45 now. Is it any prior misdemeanor conviction, or are they looked at on a case-by-case basis?
No, yeah, misdemeanors, gosh, goodness, DUIs, guys make mistakes, bad judgment, do stupid things. We're more interested in felonies. And some states, you get a second DUI, and I'm not a lawyer, don't hold me to that, but
here it's 3 and it turns a felony.
Yeah, it turns to a felony. And, if you got 3 DUIs, I'm kind of skeptical of having you on a motorcycle to begin with.
Yeah, you really haven't learned your lesson. You've been given 3 chances.
Yeah, but...
so it's a case-by-case basis, kind of look at the totality, obviously, right. If it's an assault or something like that.
He's got 22 misdemeanors.
Right.
And none of them are assault. Probably got a problem,
I hear you.
We look at this, but it's mostly no drugs, no sex crimes, no crimes against children, abuse of women, domestic abuse. You can go down that line of moral turpitude, burglary, theft, assault with a weapon, all those things. You just, and guys do turn their life around. We understand that. But when it comes to a motorcycle club, you're being judged by all motorcycle clubs and law enforcement by the content of your club. And so, we welcome law enforcement into our club, and a lot of law enforcement agencies don't want their officers to be around convicted felons. And it's just one of those things we have to abide by. military bases. A lot of commanders of military bases and Brand X have been banned from military bases. Their membership, their active duty and reservists cannot be members of that club anymore because they've been banned from that. We don't want to get into that. We want to stay clean and keep our club clean. And, even misdemeanors, like I say, if you got a long string of them, and they're stupid things, chances are you're going to do something stupid in the future. And, people you're riding with, let's put it this way. And we come into a controversial topic here, and that is legalized marijuana. We have states like Colorado, Washington State, now Massachusetts, where marijuana, recreational use is legal. So we're a law-abiding club. We had to face that decision. Do we allow it in those states? Well, you know what? It might be legal in that state, but it's still federally illegal. So we abide by the federal law that takes precedent. So, even though it's legal in Colorado, our guys are not allowed to have that on them, have it, be doing drugs or smoking marijuana in their cuts. It's just a line we have to draw in the sand. Now, one day, I'm sure the federal government will get its act together and come up with a solution like prohibition of sorts. But at this point in time, we're in the same predicament law enforcement as you got FBI, ATF, and DEA in those states that are sworn to uphold federal law, but they're kind of in no man's land because legal state law puts them in a quandary. We maintain that law-abiding status so that when I'm riding down the road, I don't worry about what's in the saddlebag of the brother that's riding next to me.
Yeah, I think that's a wise choice at this time, and it is still federally illegal. And from a law enforcement standpoint, regardless of beliefs on it, we obviously it's illegal in my state, but obviously law enforcement is prohibited from it because it's still federally illegal. So, and I just think that, until it's like you say, there's some sort of solution, I think that's a wise choice for law-abiding biker clubs for many reasons, some of which you commented on there. Now,
when people have medical cards, the way we handle that is the same way we would handle prescription medication. Don't come around us if you take oxycodone and you have a prescription because it's going to impede your judgment. You can't ride. So don't wave that in front of us and say, I got a medical card. It doesn't clear our muster. You handle it like you do any other prescription medication.
Yep. So if somebody does get, they get hooked up with you, and you're going to, look at them, what's your probationary period look like or prospect, some people want to call it? What's that look like? Is there one? Yeah,
absolutely. We use that old word, common sense. We have a minimum of 90 days. I think most clubs out there do that. That's for, if you put a profile together, you say, well, that's somebody who's been in a riding club, been in the MC world, that we're familiar with, that we know that all they need to do is get acclimated to our history. It's important that every one of us knows our history or heritage, in depth. So they can answer questions when they're challenged by other clubs, and they know how to respond and to conduct themselves appropriately and safely, so that they don't bring bad juju to the club or to brothers or to themselves. So that's the minimum. But generally, it could go 6 months. A younger green person who's never just bought their first Harley, joined Hog, and decided they want to belong in a motorcycle club. There's a place for them in our club, but that period of time can be significantly longer. It's determined by the chapter, and when they feel he's ready, he'll be invited to patch in. But big difference between prospecting for us and many other clubs. As a prospect, we consider you a brother in training. So it's not like you're dumped on or hazed. We're not going to, those days making them climb the grease pole and shoving hard-boiled eggs up their ass. We don't do that anymore. So you're treated with dignity and respect. It's just a learning period that you learn about us and we learn about you. Because, when you join a club, you kind of give up some of your personal choice. You become part of a brotherhood. You're not independent. You kind of have to go along with what the brotherhood stands for, how it operates. You may not agree with everything that we choose to do, but you give up that right. You have a right to protest and you have a right to say. In our club, everybody has a right to voice their opinion. But once the decision's made, that right has gone away, and we go together and we speak with one voice, and we're boot to boot, shoulder to shoulder. We use that term a lot. But we're only as strong as our weakest link. But once we make a determination, then we're all together, and that works, and we're pretty solid on that. So when we put all that together, we've learned our heritage, you understand our history, you understand our founding principles, and you live them, and you're willing to put that whole patch on your back that weighs about 600 pounds when you sew it on and put it on your back, and accept the responsibility that everything you do reflects on every one of us. I mean, that's the biggest thing that your club and all clubs have to face. If one bad apple reflects on everybody. One guy gets busted for dealing drugs. Oh, they're all distributing drugs. You follow? So, it's a process. It's not a degradation or humiliation. It's a process of them learning about us and we learning about them and making sure that we have a match.
Yep. Good. Very, very similar. Yep. In our club. Yeah. It's a getting to know you a little bit better. Getting to ride with you and spend time with you. So if somebody was interested listening to this and they wanted, what's the best way that they can get, in touch, or what should they do? Should they approach an Iron Legacy and say, hey, I'm interested, or should they email, or what's the protocol there?
Oh, just approach us, that you just come up and say, hey, I'm so-and-so, and I see your guys around, and, tell me about your club. I'm interested. Open up a conversation. We're totally open. We have no secrets to speak of. We're transparent because we have nothing to hide. If you're not doing anything wrong, you got nothing to hide. And the other way is if we're not around your area and you don't see us, we're near you on our website, and you can tell our website's pretty transparent. We tell you where we are. When we open a new chapter, it's announced. So there's no under the radar, under the covers. We're pretty transparent. And if we're not in your area, then just go on our website, get our portal. There's at the bottom of the homepage, it says contact us. You just have a question, we'll answer it. You'll be responded to, within, I won't say 24 hours, but within a week, somebody will get it. Okay. And then we have a process that we go through. It's not like, you contact us, we invite you and meet you and give you a prospect patch. We have a process that we go through to make sure that even our new chapters, we keep tabs. They're not just put out there and left on their own. We have a nomad that's assigned to that chapter or that new member or that person who contacted us, and they oversee them, answer their questions, check in on them, make sure that they're staying on, keeping that train on the track. Another thing that we learned, one of those things that you asked us what we did to not let it happen again, we keep the train on the track. So when that, if we got a rogue chapter that starts, I don't know, frequently, and we communicate with all clubs, because when you don't communicate, that's when you open the door for trouble. If we get a communication from a chapter to say, hey, this guy in your colors, he's in our bar, and this is our bar, we don't want him there, we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. The beer is just as cold down the road. They need their space. We don't need to be in it, and we certainly aren't proving anything to be in their place. That's their place. That's where they, wherever it is, doesn't matter. There's someplace else for us. We don't need to be invading on their business.
Very good. And should they get through the probationary period, how do they get voted in? Is that 100% vote from a chapter?
No, and that doesn't work. quite frankly, because, we don't have anything mandatory. One of our cardinal rules is we got brothers that work, law enforcement works 24 hours. They can work third shift. They can work second shift. They can't go to everything. They can't be at everything. They can't make every event. So simple solution to that is nothing is mandatory. You make what you can. We do this for fun. We don't, this is not like you signed over your life to a club and your wife, family. It doesn't work that way. Your belief in your religion comes first. Always God's first in all our lives, and then your family that has to come second, and then your job. Because if you don't have a job, you don't have a family, and then we're down there somewhere fourth or fifth. Work our values that way, and so when you say 100%, there might be a guy who's not participating because of his job all that much that he doesn't interact with that prospect. So you're dragging that prospect time because one guy says, I can't vote on the guy. I hardly know him. I met him one time. I haven't rode with him. I don't know what he's like riding in a pack. Riding skills are a big deal to us. Having a good maintained bike. That's important to us. If you have a flat tire or if you're a bad rider and you're in front of me and I've got 10 guys behind me, we're all going down. So, those are important things. And if a guy says, so it's majority.
Okay. So it's majority. Okay. Right. Very good. And is there a minimum meeting attendance or ride attendance?
No, nothing's mandatory. No, there's no. We do require that you ride. So if a guy, we never see him on his motorcycle, why do you belong to a motorcycle club? That's just common sense. Going back to the common sense part. But we don't check odometers, and we don't say, well, if you miss church 2 months in a row, you're out. We don't have anything like that. We just common sense. There could be a myriad of reasons. Work schedule. The guy lives 2 hours away. His wife's having a baby. Who knows? It's better just to use good common sense. If the man is participating when he can, he still has our core values, spirit's right, good man. Why would you kick him out for something like that? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
So, Ray, is there anything that I didn't ask that you think is important to get out here on the Law Abiding Biker podcast that you want to get out, or any other sparks of conversation?
No, I'm really glad that you touched on the Alliance. That's important to us as a club. Our organization, as you know, now we're going well into our fourth year, and we're enjoying life. It's been a great existence. We appreciate all the clubs that have extended a hand to us, that gave us a shot to prove that we are what we say we are. They went back to the old days. What happened to that club, you guys are the same, or you're just the same, or you're hooked up. We appreciate the opportunity that we've had over the past 4 years to show that we are what we say we are, nothing more, and we'll do that in the future. So if you have a question beyond this to your readers and your followers, just send us a question. We'll answer it. Even if it's, we go on our guest book, pull up our guest book. We had a guest book entry that we responded to. This guy said, you got felons and child molesters, druggies. I don't forget all that he wrote. We put it out there, and I answered. Pull it up on your computer right now, and I answered it and said, you're a sick puppy. You need to go play in another sandbox. We'll answer you, no matter how stupid you are, or how much, crap you want to stir up, because, roaches run when you turn the light on. And this James Redden, this character, he's made enemies. Even Aiken Rebel, Donald Charles Davis, got this guy's number. The haters page got this guy's number. he's nothing but trouble for a lot of clubs. And I don't expect he'll change. I would tell anybody that went on there like you, spend 2 minutes, read his diatribe, and you'll know real quick. This is not a kind of a guy that you want to be associating, affiliating, listening to, following. He's a mess. And we wish him well. We hope, I don't wish him any harm, but he's just a mess. And people like him, and there's a ton of them. You read what they're all over the internet. Some of them have 3, 4 different identities. That's not what an MC is. The message to the MC world is, be what you are. Go back to your roots and be true to your club and your brothers. Enjoy every minute of it. That's be the greatest thing.
Yep, nice. And on that bombshell, good way to end it. And thanks, man. It's good to see you again. And thanks for taking the time I know it took a little while to get on. We just got so many projects going, but I appreciate it, the time. And I know that this will answer a lot of questions for a lot of people. And I know I asked some of the tougher questions, and I appreciate you answering up on those, because that's what a lot of people want to know. And because we have got questions, should I join the Iron Legacy? We've literally get emails like that, and I can't answer that. Of course, I never recommend or don't recommend clubs. All I can say now is here's 2 episodes that you can go listen to, and you make your decision, because I don't recommend clubs. So thanks for your, go ahead.
Brian, you know me a long time now. You go back to the original interview I did with you. There's not a whole lot different. You listen to that and listen to this one. We're consistent. We've been riding this road for a long time. There are brothers that are no longer here that help build this organization, and we continue it. Rest in peace, Stockfather. We miss you. We are what we say we are.
Awesome. And thanks for your time, Ray.
And brother, have a good one.
You too. There you have it. Done. A 2-part series, The Iron Legacy, interview and interrogation with Ray Lubesky. I really hope that was useful to you guys. As we try to be very diverse around here and do different kinds of episodes on different topics, whether it's news or maintenance or whether it's club stuff. It's been a while since we did club stuff. So again, leave your comments, guys, on our website on the episodes. You can get right on lawabidingbiker.com / and whatever episode number it is. Of course, it's a troll-free zone. It's a spam-free zone. If anybody gets on there and tries to be negative, you immediately get banned for life. Have a good conversation. That's all we ask. Same with our YouTube channel. You'll notice there's no real trolls on there because we monitor it heavily, and we don't put up with smack talk. We don't put up with smut. We keep it real. We can all have a intelligent adult conversation, even if certain people agree to disagree. That's okay. But we have to respect each other. And so we would like to hear your comments and see what you think of these interviews and your thoughts. So, all right, guys, don't forget, there's lots of ways to listen, iTunes and Stitcher Radio, and we're on Spotify now. We're all over. iHeartRadio, whatever. But we do have our own app, and it's the best way to listen, really. And you can go to lawabidingbiker.com /app, APP. And over there you can get Amazon Kindle, whether you have an Android. We have an Android version, an Apple App Store version. All of them are over there. You can click on them. It'll take you through to your respective app store. You get the show notes in there. You can actually leave us a voicemail in there. There's all kinds of goodies in there, but it's free. It's free to you guys, and it is an awesome way to listen. I know many of our listeners have appreciated that app. So there you go, guys. We appreciate all the support that everybody continues to give us through our store and through becoming patrons and through the donations. And man, there's just a lot of different ways that you can support us, and we appreciate all of it, because it assures that we can continue on down the road and get our message out, get your messages out here to the law-abiding biker community. All right, guys. Whew. Done.